Welcome back to the High Performance Hub podcast. Today we are joined by Maverick Bailey. Maverick is an entrepreneur. He is a truth seeker and he is just oozing success. And today what we're going to do is pull back the layers, and this episode will give everyone things, insights and action to do today to get you more success.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here, and it's always good to have some very constructive conversations right now. So, I think that's much needed. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely, mate. So where did it all start? Because everyone's got a day one. What was yours?
Where did it all start? I mean, we can go back to, childhood. I mean, I did some, child acting. I was, 4 years old, started, in the industry. I grew up in Los Angeles. And it was something that, I wanted to do at a very young age. I wanted to do, commercials, TV, everything else. And in that nature, just growing up in that environment. And my parents were, always supportive. Like, that's what you want to do? Great, cool. So got into that, got an agent, and, just started to, rip and run through Hollywood as far as, commercials, TV, all that stuff. And that really opened up my eyes to a world to where, you can be yourself and monetize it. And I think it translates into now, being in front of the camera and everything else. And since then, I just done a bunch of ventures, got into real estate, played sports, all that stuff, did college basketball and everything else. But really, it was something that, was always in the back of my mind to where I always wanted to be in front of the camera again. So it's full circle, So it's just been a cool journey. And I think that when it comes to doing content, especially now, it's about authenticity. People can, cut through the fake bullshit now. And, when it comes to content and connection, that's the main thing. And that's why I started the Maverick approach.
Mate, I love that. And one recurring theme from all the entrepreneurs that I've had on the podcast is how important authenticity is.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm delving deeper into more with kind of starting this podcast,
right,
and also with my content, and just being like, just be yourself. And then, like you say, it's not essentially, for me, it's just like be yourself. And
everything else will come as far as
exactly.
like the money is a byproduct, right?
Yeah.
Like money isn't real. I always tell people that money is not real, right? It all starts here.
Yeah.
It's mindset and everything else. When it comes to making money, you're really just making yourself. And when you're authentic and people can connect with you, everything else will come. Money's a byproduct.
Yeah, it's like that no trust with your audience. Mm-hmm. And for me, the only way to build that is being authentic. Like, for me to think about portraying someone that isn't me, mm-hmm, like I'm this whoever, I can't even think of it because it just doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, there's even not a podcast. There's even an Instagram dedicated, I think it's called Ball Busters, to just outing people, right? So like there's people on there, flexing and say, I got this, I got that. And then all of a sudden this guy breaks it down. It's like, yeah, that's rented. That's fake. You're full of shit. That's the climate we're in right now, to where it's very transparent. And I think that it's very important to be authentic because we have social media, right? So somebody's going to call you out in the comments or something and be like, well, no, that's not real because X, Y, and Z. So it's going to come across. So you have full pages now just dedicated to like literally ball busting and being like, yeah, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
So I think and it's good. It holds people accountable. So, and that's what I do too. I call people out. I on my content, it's unfiltered. Don't care. Like me, don't like me. You're going to respect me. Right. So when I'm telling the truth, most people resonate with that, and it's something that it's much needed. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's real and what's fake anymore when it comes to social media. So when it comes to being transparent, we need more people, holding up that wall of transparency to where it's like, okay, well, this person is saying this. We got to hold them accountable. They're saying they got this and everything else. But really, no, let's strip all that shit down and see who you really are.
Yeah. Just jumping on the back of that is your kind of out of the norm thinking with the conspiracies and all that stuff.
Conspiracies.
Mate, no, but I love that, because not just with kind of the conspiracy stuff and all that, which I'm sure we'll go into, but it's allowing you to think outside the box and just being like, what if?
Right.
And questioning the beliefs that have been put into us since school.
Yeah. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. I've come to find out, just doing my research and everything else, the monetary system is a scam. History is a scam. That's why it's called his story. Whoever wins tells the story, right? So everything we come to know, and especially in America, I call it the Matrix. Like I have a bunch of videos out there where I say America's the Matrix, and everything we've have learned, man, it's just lies and bullshit and just layers of dirt, just of deceit. So I peel back those layers and be like, okay, well, that really didn't happen. This is how it's going on. And even with our system right now, like there's a big, I don't even call it anti-Trump movement, but he's in there now. And a lot of people are like, well, he's fucking up the economy and everything else, but they really don't understand how, politics work, how the monetary system works. And what he's really doing is really saving this country, right? So I think that, we have to unlearn a lot of stuff and relearn a lot of stuff.
I like, do you think, there's so many questions I've got.
Yeah.
So with you, for example, talking live on your content the first time about like your opinions, your beliefs, was there any kind of, were you like nervous, or was it because of going into like the commercials at such a young age, in front of the cameras, in front of people, that you were just confident within yourself? Like, where did that come from?
I feel like it comes from being comfortable in front of the camera. Now, what I'm saying now, wasn't traditionally what I was saying, 5-10 years ago. I've always thought it, but it was something that in the climate that we're in, we needed that. And I felt like a lot of weird shit was going on, and it was something that didn't sit right with me since like 2020, like the whole world stopped, right? And it's like, this doesn't seem right. Like the whole world stops. They're telling us this one thing. It could be something else. And since then, man, I just started to do my research, started to go down the rabbit hole and everything else. And then one thing led to another, and I just got comfortable because I know other people think like me. And I get DMs all the time like, hey, I can't say this, but keep going because I want you to say it. I don't want to lose my job and everything else, but I'm with you. And when I started to get that feedback, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm on the right path for sure. So the community themselves give me confidence to keep going to say what I'm going to say.
Yeah, and I suppose with that community is also that reassurance in the sense, but like that's what I say sometimes. Like with my coach, with my mentor, it's not a case of you're amazing. It's you're on the right track.
Right.
This makes sense. You're doing good.
Right.
And when you get those kind of compliments and those conversations happen, it's that extra bit of like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, you got to keep going. And then as your community grows and everything else, it's just like it gives you confidence, and people are sending me stuff. I get crazy DMs. So
I can only imagine.
People are like giving me like classified information and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's my support group. Like, I really don't care about legacy media. They came after me, they did hit pieces on me. Don't care, don't give a fuck. But the community, the people who I can connect with, and my DMs are always open. I have conversations with people. I'm not fake. I'm not this celebrity. Don't care about that shit. I don't care about celebrities. They're weird anyway. My thing is I want to connect with people, real people, every day, who is, middle class, is the lifeblood of America. That's who I want to connect with. And really around the world, because I have people in the UK, Australia, everywhere. And I want to connect with people. And it's about community, because I think it's about time to have our own decentralized media and decentralize everything, because so long we've been so dependent on the system, and it's been corrupt on every level, government, even, in the UK, and I hear stories from all around the world on how their system is corrupt, but people are tired. So now it's time to share the codes amongst each other.
Yeah.
So,
one thing that me and my mates talk about a lot is how annoying it is that in school we didn't learn about mortgages, taxes, how to be a functioning adult.
Right.
It's algebra and all the ratios, even though, yes, you may use it in future life.
Yeah, somewhat. Like, do you use calculus right now?
No.
Do you use algebra right now?
No.
Do you use any of that shit in school that they taught you?
No.
Like, besides math and English, what else are we like none of that shit we learned in school, we don't use. They should be teaching us how to balance a checkbook, how to open up a business, how to get business funding, credit, all these things that we should be learning to be successful. They didn't. Now, why is that? Here's the thing. The school system was created to indoctrinate, right? So the whole school system, when they got from Europe, it really started in Europe, where they used the school system to indoctrinate and birth, a soldier. So whenever a war would pop off, they wouldn't question anything. So they adopted that, brought it to America, and the school system became what it is now. Now, who funded it? The Rockefellers and everybody else who runs the whole system. Like, think about it. So they're setting up a system to where you put yourself in debt when you go to college, get out of that just to go work for a job to go pay for that debt. How does that make sense? So this is a system to where they want you to be, a good little boy, a good little girl, shut up, sit down, be a worker bee, and have a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. So that's what, that's why I say, college is a scam, school is a scam, and we have, AI now, we have everything at our fingertips to learn everything ourselves. And, if you want to be an engineer, a coder, you can do it. I know people on TikTok right now making 30 grand a month creating, TikTok shops and e-commerce and everything else. So that's, what we should be learning as far as, business, building a business, credit, all this other stuff. And everything that we've learned in school was a fucking waste of time.
Yeah. I'm lost for words because I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Finished school, I went to university, and my debt, student loan, is healthy.
Yeah.
And then after university, I was like, I've got a degree. Now what?
Most jobs don't even require degrees now.
No.
If you have a master's or a doctorate or probably a doctorate, but like as far as like masters, bachelors, they don't even require them anymore.
And it just looked like back to my dad's age. Like, he finished school, hated school, and then built up his professional career and had a really successful career in business with 0 qualifications. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I'm just thinking this, but it like turned a corner and was like, right, no, you will not get a job. And I remember teachers in school saying this, university, degree, job. That's the format.
Right.
And even like looking back for my university kind of career, let's say, is I cannot tell you one thing that I've implemented from university into being a high performance coach now. Yep. The only thing that I can take away from university was how much I shit myself with speaking in front of people. And I was like, well, I don't like doing that.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's failing forward. And I think that's the main thing. Failing forward and failing fast. That's the key to success. Yeah. Figure out what doesn't work as fast as possible, and then get to the resolution in what you're good at and what you want to do. Right? Don't spend too much time, just dancing around in a circle. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people take movement for progress, which is not. You can run on a hamster wheel all day and not go anywhere. That doesn't mean shit. But when you're moving in a direction to where, okay, this doesn't work. Okay, I failed here. Now I get to here. Like, even going back to Trump, like, people highlight a lot of his bankruptcies, but I'm like, well, do you see his resume of all his successes? Like, he has a small, minute, like company here, company there where he went bankrupt, but has he ever gone personally bankrupt? No. Right? And he understands the system and everything else with financial instruments, but when it comes to what works, what doesn't, now I'm a step closer to success. And that's what everybody should do.
Yeah. I love that. And even with this podcast, I was like sitting on my hands a little bit with it. I was like, I was like, fuck it, just do it.
Just do
action.
it.
Just
do it.
action.
Yep.
And even from the first episode to now, like, I feel more confident in speaking to people like yourself.
Right.
And it's that progress as well. And it's not just like the views are racking up or whatever it is. For me, it's if I feel like I'm progressing, then it's working.
Yeah.
Not just because obviously my thumbnail can be improved. All these things can be improved. But if the actual product is improving itself and I'm improving within that, I'm happy.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing when it comes to like content creation, podcasts, being in front of the camera and all this stuff. Just do it. Just start. It's not going to be right. Like even when I started mine, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Relationships, sports, this, that. And again, like going into like what I speak about now, I touched on that. And I was like, well, are people really going to resonate with that? I had no idea. But now leaning into it more, a video popped off. And I was talking about, you remember that train crash a few years ago that happened in East Palestine with all the toxic materials?
Mm-hmm.
So I did a video on that. And then that one popped off. And I made the correlation of how they shot a movie a year before in the same exact location called White Noise about a train crash spilling toxic materials. I'm like, that's odd. So I did a video on that, and they were like, oh, shit. And then I leaned more into that. And I was like, well, let me start connecting the dots. And people said I was pretty good at that and everything else, and here we are. But I just started, though, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to, do content. And again, just failing forward, see what happens, while doing this and doing that and getting to that point where like, okay, this works. And just start. Like nothing's gonna be perfect. You're gonna fuck up. A lot of your content is gonna be shit. It's not gonna get clicks. Like don't think that you're, when you start, you're in a nice studio and everything else. That doesn't mean anything. You just gotta be consistent and disciplined. Yeah. Right? There's idiots making money right now because they're consistent. I know some dumbass millionaires right now. But the only reason they're successful is because they keep going, right? They're so optimistic in what they're doing. They don't care what anybody says. They just keep going. I know some of the smartest people right now who are broke as shit because they're in their head too much. They're too smart for their own good. So they're like, oh, well, this has to be right and this. And then you think so much, you don't end up doing anything. Mm-hmm. You just got to move. And that's the key. Like, fail forward. Go, move.
I couldn't agree more. And it's with me, with how I kind of explain it to my clients is failing forward. It's like you're taking a step outside your comfort zone. Mm. Like me doing this, I was like, oh shit, 2 cameras, guest, what do I say?
Right.
But if you know that it's right, and if you know that that is your natural progression, and that's where you're heading, have confidence in failing.
Yeah.
Because with every failure, there's always a lesson. Why? And then for me, what I'm getting better at now is if something doesn't work or it doesn't quite hit right, and I know that there's room for improvement, I reflect and I literally dissect it. And I'll be like, right, what did work, what didn't work?
Exactly.
I can then just tweak it a little bit and just beta test it.
Right.
And then as soon as you find, and this is where like link back into kind of authenticity. Mm-hmm. The more authentic I'm becoming, and it's not like I'm not authentic, it's just with content doing this stuff.
Right.
The more it's resonating with my clients, so they're going to see a different side of me, like what I struggle with, how I overcome failures, for example. And it's looking at failures as, for me, well, failures are only failures if you don't work on them and progress from them.
Yeah, there's no such thing as failure. I think if you stop, then you failed.
That's it.
Once you quit, you're done. It's kind of like I'm in crypto. I don't see it like if something goes down, like, oh, it's a loss. It's like, well, it's only a loss if I cash out. If I opt out of that position, now I'm done. I can't get it back. But once it comes back up, it's like, okay, cool, I'm back in profit. So I look at it the same way, as far as just quitting, that doesn't exist to me. Like, I have to keep going.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting to me is like, you've got so many ventures, businesses, and I'm sure there's podcasts, there's more. Time. How do you manage it?
I've been asked a lot. People was like, yo, how do you do all this shit? Pretty much just time management. And I prioritize. Like, once I have a priority list. So like, what is most important? spend the most time on, cultivating that, and then scale down from there. But really, I just, it's just being organized, whatever doesn't make sense, get rid of it. Whatever is high on my priority list, cool, knock that out, and then go down from there. Then once it gets to a critical mass position to where I'm like, okay, I don't have to spend too much time on this. It's kind of on autopilot. Now I can scale down and do this, and that. So I think that when people scatter their mind too much, it's kind of like the same saying, like, have 4, 5, 6, 7 streams of income. That's the dumbest shit ever. You don't know why? Because do one good thing first. You have to be, you're a jack of all trades, but a master of none, right? So do one good thing, really fucking good. Then you can do 5, 6, 7 different things, because now you have the time, the resources, the money. So when you're trying to do too many things, you're, again, movement, but it's not progress. So I think that you have to be really good at one thing, master that shit. Like this podcast, master this shit. Then, okay, cool. I can do a drink. I can do, create my own foam, my backpacks, whatever. Because now you have it to where people are, it's gravity. You're pulling people to you at this point without even trying.
Yeah.
So I think that, you can't do too many things at once. So you just have to prioritize and organize.
Yeah, I think there's being busy, then there's being productive.
Exactly. And I hate that shit. Like when I text people, oh, I'm too busy. Like they're like, you're not cool. Like you're not busy. People make time for whatever they want to make time for, right?
Very good point.
It's like, hey, I'm doing this, but I'll get back to you. That's a more productive way to answer versus I'm too busy. I'll see about it. Like, fuck off. No, you're not too busy. Nobody's too busy.
Yeah, and in this day and age, the majority of people are busy. Like,
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's something that I delve deep into. It's like, it's not about creating more time. We've all got the same hours in the day.
Right.
It's how to optimize that time to get to be the most efficient with it.
Right.
And I love what you said about kind of doing the big tasks first.
Right.
That's the way I start every single day. Don't check my phone, blank canvas, and just attack it.
Right.
And then I train, and then, like you say, it just filters down into not the work that needs less energy, but the less important tasks.
Right. Exactly.
And for me, it's been a game changer in hitting that first big task early, and then you've got productivity for the whole day.
Exactly.
Instead of, because I'm sure, like even for me, but I'm sure even more for you, if you wrote down everything that you need to do, you'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit.
It's a lot. And that's the thing. Like, it's just, again, just organizing and just, like, what I do in the morning, like, I do the same thing. I blank out for about maybe an hour, hour and a half to where, I may check my phone just for the news because I have to. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to, like, speaking to anybody, I don't talk to anybody. I don't, go and talk to and be on the phone. And no, none of that. Well, that's my time to organize my thoughts, meditate, stretch, do whatever I need to do. That time's for me because I know the rest of the day is going to be crazy, So you have to, it's like organizing a room. If you have a bunch of cluttered shit in there, it's like, well, I have to fit these boxes in here before anybody comes in here. Then, okay, I can start letting people in. Just organize everything, and I do that every day.
Yeah, I think organization is like a superpower because when you're organized, and then it's one thing being organized, but then it's implementing the tasks within that organization.
Yeah.
And like you say, the productivity is scary. Once you've got momentum, it's like a drug for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, and one thing that I've realized, again, I'm thinking of so many things, I'm mumbling over my own words. Once I've got momentum and I'm seeing results, client results, coaching results, everything, results with this, my imposter syndrome and the amount of attention and thought I give to what other people are doing or what other people think is gone.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
That's a great point, though. Like, the imposter syndrome is something that every entrepreneur has. Like, they think that because we overthink a lot and we're like, okay, well, I want everything to be perfect, or we're comparing ourselves to other people. We can be doing great, but then we're looking up the road and be like, oh, well, damn, this person's doing this. Do I really deserve this? Or am I smart enough? And every entrepreneur does that. Like they, to a certain degree, you know, even fucking Elon Musk, the richest man on earth. I'm sure somewhere in his mind, he's like, Sam Altman is doing this. Like, you know, he goes back and forth with him. So it's like every entrepreneur has that for sure. So I think that's a key point for sure that you said.
Even when I started this, I was like, right. And obviously looked at your podcast, Oscar. Everyone that basically I've had on, I'll look at theirs and I'll be like, oh God. But then I'm like, but I've done like, I think this is my 11th. So I was like, just give it time and stick with it.
Yeah, just keep going.
And it's like falling back onto what you said about the community. Mm-hmm. It's just that reassurance, you're doing a good job. Keep going.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the main thing that keeps me going. Like the comments, the people, that's my reward for sure. Because people are like, hey, keep going. I love this. You know, I wake up to it every morning to get my news and everything else. So I'm like, damn, it's a big responsibility, but it's really cool to hear that.
Yeah, there's nothing better for me than receiving like compliments like that.
Yeah.
Because all the hard work you put in, behind the scenes and in front of camera,
right,
it's like paying off. There's no monetary kind of link to it.
Right.
I'm sure down the line or whatever, but it's just those people that are going out of their way to say how good your work is.
Right, right.
There's nothing for me that's like the pinnacle.
Yeah, because I definitely read comments. Like when people ask me like, hey, do you even see my comments? Yes, I see all comments. So I make sure, you know, even if I don't respond, I like them, or if they repost my stuff, I like every single repost, everyone. Yeah. So, and people can, you know, I think that's another key to success, especially with content creation. When they see that, just a like, oh, Maverick liked my stuff. And that, I don't see myself like that, but they see it like that. They're like, I love your stuff. And just that kind of response is, you know, validation for them as well. So we're like, oh, he responded to me. He liked my comment. So, it's a great feeling to where people can really, you know, give you those compliments and, you know, make it reciprocal.
Yeah, and with social media, that little like is building that human connection.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's seen me, and you appreciate the comment. So then it's, my wife's calling me. Sorry about that.
No worries. She's like, where are you at?
Yeah, honestly.
What's going on?
She'll see this recording, and she'll be like, do you know what?
Have you ever seen that meme?
This is going to be...
Have you ever seen that meme where the wife will be like, I wonder what he's doing. He's probably, you know, fucking bitches or whatever. And it's like we're playing video games or like doing a podcast or some shit, thinking about crypto and like, yeah.
Mate, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
But yeah, she's going to watch this recording and be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, no. Women.
Yeah. How long you been married?
We've been married. Oh, you've done this. Our anniversary is on actually 4/20.
Oh, really?
And that'll be 3 years. But yeah, we met on cruise ships.
Okay.
So she's a performer, and I was doing indoor skydiving, like the instructor.
Oh shit. Okay.
So yeah, she heard the accent, mate, and it was game over.
Oh yeah, you got the accent. There you go. Yeah, she's American.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She's from Phoenix.
Got you.
And then been in Vegas for like 2.5 years.
Okay, nice.
And I'll never go back to England.
Yeah, man. I just did a live the other day, and I was talking about what's going on in the UK right now, and man, it's crazy over there right now. It's dangerous, and it's not as clean anymore. People are getting stabbed left and right. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, and then I went to Dubai last year. I met so many people from the UK. They were like, dude, I'm never going back. They're like, I had to flee. I'm like, what is going on? So I'm thinking like, okay, because I do a lot of world politics and everything else, but it just seemed like it's just been accelerated over the last couple of years of what's happening over there. I'm thinking maybe it has something to do with Brexit and whatnot and how you guys separated from the union. So maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, it's crazy over there.
Yeah, it's not a place. Yeah, I think there was another thing on Instagram that it got voted something like top 10 or even top 2 the most depressing countries in the world.
Damn.
And the weather certainly doesn't help. And I said, well, I moved out to obviously Vegas, and my brother's recently just moved out to Marbella.
Okay.
with his wife, and I was like, "Have you noticed the difference yet?" And he goes, "Oh my God, it's amazing."
Yeah.
And the culture's different, and I think people in the UK, obviously, everyone works hard, successful people, whatnot. Similar. I mean, I think the world's also dealing with similar issues. It's a bit of a shit show.
For sure. But yeah, definitely the weather has something to do with it too. I mean, you got sun, over here.
Seasonal depression, mate, is a real thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Big time.
And every time I went to the UK, I've been probably 3-4 times now. Yeah, every time I've been, it's been raining and gloomy. Yeah. So I actually want to go this summer though. I want to actually get some sun over there and check out the scene. But so I gotta see.
When the sun's shining, like in COVID, the first stretch of COVID.
Yeah.
It was the best summer we've had.
Really?
In forever. It was obviously apart from the COVID side.
Yeah.
The weather side was unbelievable.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it's funny how kind of cultures and weather can, in my opinion, just change someone's mood, upbringing,
right,
productivity, and everything.
Yeah.
Like when I went back to the UK, I think I went back to for 2.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw the sun 4 times.
Wow.
So it was, you wake up, it was gloomy. You finish work, it's dark.
Right, yeah.
And unless you're popping about 3 pounds of vitamin D,
yeah,
or you're laying on the sunbed for half an hour, you are just...
Yeah, you're not getting any of that.
It's just Groundhog Day. And that's why a lot of people obviously work and then save up their money to go on 3, 4, 5 holidays if they can a year.
Mm.
Whereas here, I'll be like, we'll just go into a casino pool and chill.
Right.
I'm chilling, mate.
Yeah.
Happy days.
For sure.
One thing that I kind of want to ask you, mate, is with all the growth that you've experienced and will experience in the future, have you got a team behind you? Are you delegating? How? Because obviously you mentioned about the time management and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What's the delegation like?
That's the biggest key to success for me too. The organization part, but also the delegation, because I can't be everywhere all at once. So if I can clone myself, then yeah. So virtual assistants, actual assistants, brand managers. So, I have a brand manager, I have, some VAs, and then just delegating out those small tasks. That's the biggest thing. When you have so many different things to do, and I got a brand here, and, I got a podcast there, scheduling and all this other stuff, it doesn't take a big team. You just need a handful of people that really is about the mission and whatever you're doing, and then be able to delegate out. So, that's the thing. I love having assistants. If I can have 1 million of them, I could, because you're maximizing your progress. You're maximizing your movement. So where you're having, a person work on, branding, you have another person working on your social media management. So again, you can't do everything. I have 2 pages on Instagram. I also own a streaming service. I have a blockchain real estate company. I do content and probably some other shit I forgot about. But all those things I have to delegate out.
Yeah.
So again, it's about the efficiency and not spreading yourself too thin. And I'm at that point to where, okay, cool, I can have this person work on this and this and that because I've already been a master in that field, or I've reached a certain point to do that. Yeah,
and also because you've mastered those fields that you then delegate, the people that come into your business, you've set the standard. You know everything.
Right.
And they might add something. And I think anyone that comes into a business needs to add to it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, in my opinion, as soon as you hire someone, there's always going to be coaching throughout the process to make sure that they're hitting the standards. They're looking to progress in their own field. So I feel like anyone, in my opinion, I said on the last podcast, I hate satisfaction. I always look for growth. I don't want to be satisfied.
Right.
It makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, because you're complacent at that point, and you're like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah,
it's you can always be better.
Yeah, it's just laziness.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you don't have the top numbers that you think you should have, or you'd be like, okay, I have 100,000, that's cool, versus being like, well, okay, cool, I have 100,000, but now I want 1,000,000. That's where you should always, and that's the thing, this sounds crazy. What I do is I always compare myself to like the richest people on earth. So there's always something to strive for, right? So like when you're talking about the Jeff Bezos, when you're talking about the Elon Musk of the world, it's like, well, obviously I'm not a billionaire, not yet, but I'm always looking to them to like, okay, what are they doing that something I can always do better, or just think about a cool idea that they haven't thought about yet. Those like, you know, I'm shooting really high. So you're not always complacent to where you're like, yeah, this is cool. Like, because I can stop now and be like, yeah, cool, I have 200,000 followers, great, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but there's another guy who's doing the same thing who has 1,000,000 followers. I'm nowhere near that yet. So keep going. And that's what keeps me going. And I like competition. You know, that breeds innovation. You know, that sparks. I feed off of that to where like, okay, you want to do this, then I'm going to do this. And that's, you know, how, even in business, I think competition is great, where we're talking about the tariffs right now. People are hating the tariffs and all this other shit. And, you know, all these great companies are going to get crushed. You know, I saw a post and I responded to it on X. They were like, yeah, Nike, you know, they're going to be, you know, screwed over because, you know, their factories in Vietnam and these tariffs are going to be crazy. I'm like, well, for one, they don't pay taxes. Two, now American-made shoe companies can compete, and we're in a market now to where we're forced to be great, you know? So when it comes to American-made stuff and, you know, having these other companies invest in America, which they should be doing because they're making way more money on us than we are on them, especially China. This is why, you know, the tariffs are great. And people are like, oh, it's crashing the economy and all this other shit. And I'm like, you guys do know, since, you know, the tax system has been implemented, the dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Why is that? Because we used to run off tariffs. So this system is broken. Is the system corrupt? Yeah, because it hasn't worked in over 100 plus years. So what are we talking about? So what's happening with the tariffs right now, it's breeding innovation. It's going to make us produce shit now because America really doesn't produce too much. We get a lot of shit from, you know, Canada and China and Mexico and everywhere else. It's like, well, no, we need to start, you know, being self-sufficient again and not being an ATM to where we're lending out money left and right, to where, you know, Ukraine and Israel and all these other places have relied on us for forever. But now it's like, okay, Trump is like, you know what? Fuck all this. Tariff, and it's going to be reciprocal. And, you know, let's see who nuts are bigger, because we have the biggest nuts on earth right now. Our GDP is $29 trillion. You know, Canada wanted to get in a tariff war with us. Your GDP is $2 trillion. Yeah, let's see how it lasts that long. You guys will be in the dark ages by next week. So, you know, and I love what's happening right now because it's very needed. The system is broken. It's corrupt. We just saw USAID just got shut down. You know, the head of the World Economic Forum, you know, Schwab, he just stepped down. So it's a necessary evil. It's controlled chaos. And that's what we need right now to shake shit up, because we're starting to unveil a lot of corruption. So we need this.
Yeah. Again, just like linking back to the competition, like, I love that. I love competing. And it's not so much with how much people are earning, but like, what are they doing? How are they doing it? How can I do it better? But then it's also, how can I get better? Because what I found is, if I'm constantly focusing on what someone else is doing, I'm not putting the required time and energy into improve my product, service, and action. And that's where, like, I suffered with imposter syndrome when I first transitioned to like kind of online coaching. Like, me doing content 2.5 years ago, me just looking at a camera, even if it was off, I'd like shake. Yeah, I was like, absolutely not. But I'm very competitive with myself, which I don't need. Someone asked me today, like, how do you stay so motivated? I was like, I compare myself to last week. I compare myself to 2 weeks ago.
Which is a great way, for sure. You always want to be better than yesterday.
Yeah, and I think having my own business and being an entrepreneur, you have to reflect daily. Be like, because I timestamp everything, so I make sure that I am optimizing all the time.
For sure.
But I'm also I'm getting better at it. I think it's a work in progress, because when you're like experiencing so much growth and success, it's so hard to then, for me to like pull myself away from it and be like, no, relax. Like, you need your time.
Right.
And I think I said it to my mentor. I was like, this year I think I've had like one day off.
Mm-hmm.
But when you love what you do, there's not really any days off.
Never. Like, you're always on, and you have to love what you do. And that's the thing. It doesn't seem like work. You know, I think most people hate their jobs, so they dread it, and they're like, I got to go to work and this and that. It's like, I love this, you know, doing podcasts, doing seminars, speaking gigs, all this other stuff. This is never work to me, you know, doing content on Instagram. It's always fun, and it's, you know, and it's helping people. It's informative, and people have, you know, again, I get a lot of DMs where like, damn, I didn't know that. You know, I talk on health, and damn, I didn't know I shouldn't eat that, and my health has gotten better because of this. So all in all, it's very rewarding, and it's something that I love to do. So you're never really off, and you'll never really work if you love what you do.
I love that. And value is like so important for me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to just do this and like not have a meaning behind it. And it's just to offer and give as much value, insight through a relaxed conversation.
Right.
With my personal stories, what I'm going through, but also successful people like yourself, and having those key insights of like fail forward, compete, literally everything that you said today, and all your knowledge and education is what people can take away and be like, well, like I said at the start, everyone's got a day one. You didn't wake up with all this knowledge, with all this success, with all these businesses, with all these ventures.
Right.
You put it on yourself to learn crypto, to learn all these different markets and areas.
Right. For sure.
And I feel like just that alone is going to make people realize that there's no ceiling for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think that really just taking yourself out of situations to where your job, or, you know, if you hate your wife, if you fucking don't like your kids, all this shit, take yourself out of it, right? Assess what works and what doesn't work. Then from there, reverse engineer that to where you're like, okay, what do I like to do? Can I make money from that? What interests me? What am I knowledgeable at? And then start to put the pieces together from there, right? Because it seems very hopeless. And a lot of people out there are like, I hate my job. My dog bites people. He's a piece of shit. Like, it's just their whole world's falling apart. Okay, well, you know what's wrong. Okay, so what works now? Take yourself out of that. And a lot of people can't do that. So that's why I give a lot of context and research on different things that you can do. Reskill. You know, if you want to get out of your job, okay, there's AI. There's so many fucking things you can do with AI right now. It's not even funny. Like, I've seen faceless AI YouTubes, TikToks that's killing it right now. Making millions. You don't have to even pick up a camera anymore. Just learn that shit. Now, guess what? Now you can quit your job. Now you have a stable income. Now you can, you know, take trips and all this other stuff. So I always say just reskill, because what's about to happen in the next few years, people are going to be so clueless and so lost on this new technology, you know, tsunami that's about to happen. So again, take yourself out of the situation. Don't be like, woe is me and all this. You know what's wrong. Fuck that. Okay, cool. Now figure out what works. And people complain so much. I hate that shit. Do not complain. Like, you know what's wrong already. So, okay, cool. Now what are you going to do about it? Do you actually want to be successful? Because it's like, okay, well, I have all these tools. And again, we have all these tools. We have AI and automation and everything else. How easy is it to research? Go to AI itself and tell you, hey, I need a business plan to open up a coffee shop. What does that look like? How much money does it take? What resources? Here's my resources that I have right now. I know this person, this person, this person. How can I leverage that?
You could literally probably start something within 48 hours a week.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. And then that gives you a roadmap to where like, okay, cool, it is possible. And okay, let me at least try this and then see what doesn't work. Fail forward. This doesn't work, this works, and then keep going.
Yeah. I love what you said about the complaining. I mean, being English people, we are really good at moaning. Mate, the weather, the food, how expensive shit is, we moan. But one thing I've started to do is like only complain when you've got a solution and you're going to action that solution. Mm-hmm. So then it's like you're taking it to the thought core and be like, right, why am I complaining? What action can I put in to make sure that I've got a solution in place? Because usually when we're complaining, it's something that we've got control over.
Yeah.
Or something that we have no control over. Flight's delayed. Oh, what?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, put on the fucking cap yourself, go fly the plane? Like, you can't do that. So, okay, flight's delayed. Now, okay, how does this affect me? Figure that out, move forward.
Yeah. I think the theme that I'm getting from this, which is inspiring me, mate, is just like move forward, fail forward, try it, innovate, compete, challenge. And it's all those like kind of buzzwords, keywords that are so important.
Yeah.
And it's forward thinking and being like, I will do that. I can do that. Instead of maybe not me. I can't achieve that.
Right. Either way, you're right. If you can't do it and you think you can't, you're right. If you can, you're right.
Yeah.
It all starts here, right? Like, so think about building a house or a car. That car or house didn't exist until what? You thought about it. How does it look? What color is it? How do you make it? Starts here. Everything starts here. Mm-hmm. So from there, it manifests into reality. And then from there, it's like, okay, now it's a real thing.
Yeah, one of my other guests, Joe, he like the senior partner of his own law firm. He's got one in Vegas and he's just opened another one in Phoenix. We were talking about like his journey, and he was sat in the car with his father-in-law, and it still sticks with me now, and it will probably still stay with me for a long, long time. His father-in-law was obviously talking about his 5-year plan and all this, and I think Joe's responses were they were lacking confidence. They were lacking that get up and go.
Right.
And then his father-in-law was just like, why not you? And that was just like, that's just so powerful.
Right.
There's no reason why any of us can't achieve what we truly want.
Yeah.
Because everything's out there to learn the resources, and it's up to you if, yes, it takes hard work. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the hours, the hard work, the blood, sweat, tears.
There you go.
The same with you.
Yeah.
Everyone's at different points, but anyone that's successful, doesn't matter what point you're at, it's still hard work to get there.
Right.
And then it's like, right, okay, more growth. That's what we go back to, that satisfaction and complacency and laziness.
Yeah, it's the worst, bro. It's the worst.
Disease,
when it comes to that,
it's
just it's a disease to where it's like you're satisfied or just complacent. That is the worst. Like, there's no growth there. There's no innovation there. There's no new ideas there. And what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a box, and you're saying subconsciously that, oh, I don't deserve more. I don't think I can take this any further, right? So in my mind, I'm always the smartest person in the room, even if I'm not. I'm always, in the future, going to be the richest person on earth. You know, it's that mindset to where it's like, it's almost delusion, but it's like, it's very optimistic to where it's helping you, to where it's advancing you. Right?
Yeah, and I think also with the positive self-talk, you saying that whilst you walk into a room, and I literally said it before I came in, I was like, right, lock in.
Yeah.
And it's just that the final thought that you have before doing a podcast, before doing a Zoom meeting, before going in public speaking, whatever it is, that final thought that you have is positive.
Yep.
Instead of like, I am shitting myself. I can't do this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You go in and it's just like...
And a lot of people do that.
that.
A lot of people do that, man. Like, and this is why, like, Michael Jordan, he's always the greatest because his mindset. Mm-hmm. He's like, I am the best. Nobody's going to outwork me. Nobody's going to win more. It's always that mindset to where it starts there. And then it manifests into... reality and physical. But his mindset was just like, I'm the best. Nobody's going to fucking beat me. Yeah. That's just what it is. And, and it starts here.
Yeah. I started therapy middle of last year. And one of the first things that he said, he was like, you cannot grow unless you grow. And it was all up here. Yeah. It wasn't how fit I was, how good I looked in content or whatever. It was this. Right. As soon as you start unlocking this and smashing those limiting beliefs and putting the building blocks in place. Yeah. And stacking up evidence in the sense that where you want to go is achievable. For sure. And then the more you get to that initial goal, another one's going to be there. Yeah. And it's a challenge, but it's enjoyable.
I always see this where ugly dudes get the hottest chick. I always see, well, not always, but they like a large number of them. I'm like, how the fuck did he get her? It's the confidence. Mm-hmm. Like, these dudes know they're ugly, right? They're like...
It might be the English accent either, mate.
So they got to be confident, right? They got to be funny, smart, whatever, but they're very confident, right? So they're always shooting their shots, and then that's who usually gets the girl. Like, I've talked to a lot of beautiful women, and they'll be like... Really, the good-looking guys, they're, like, shy and scared. I never get approached. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, it's always these ugly motherfuckers that's coming up to me. But they see the confidence, so it's attractive. Yeah. So they're like, oh, well, he thinks he's, like, the top dog in the room. That's attractive. Mm-hmm. So that mindset, it doesn't matter. Again, I know a lot of rich idiots. They do. They don't talk. They do. And they fail forward and go get the shit. And then it works.
Mate, couldn't agree more. I want to just round that off, mate, because that was a perfect ending. I just want to say a massive, massive thank you for taking the time out, mate, to jump on the podcast. If people, I was going to say, if people were to find you, where can they find you? And you'll be like, right, well, they can find me here. But on Instagram, your podcast.
Instagram, Maverick Approach, maverickapproach.com. You can find me there. YouTube is the same thing, The Maverick Approach, my podcast on there. I have another show called Off the Grid with another co-host, Big Homie CC, who's celebrity bodyguard. So we have some crazy stories on there. And TikTok as well, Mav Approach, MAVE Approach on there. So
amazing.
Yeah, check me out there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.